1D performs remote viewing, deactivating chips and codes or programming, raising the vibrations and healing this great planet. We are co-creating a better reality. You're listening to Wolf Spirit Radio.
Oh, okay. You want to be that way. All right. Thank you, Russ. Russ is doing a great job for me. I want to thank him personally right here on the air. That if it wasn't for you, you know, I probably wouldn't be here because I sure miss JP. I wish he'd come back on one of my shows. Man, I love that man. He's been absent. I need to talk to him. Well, I think I sent him something. Listen, folks, I got to tell you something that is very important to me. Or number one, our guest today is Matthew Bueno. I'm going to pronounce it in Spanish because I don't think it come out that way in English. Anyway, I'll be right back here with Matthew in a moment. And I want to thank, I'm going to leave it for last. Okay. Okay. I want to thank Nicole, my wife, for being here with me too and supporting me in all this. And my beautiful Vanessa, my grandmother, Vanessa, over there, moderator there. Oh, I messed up then, Nicole.
Nope, I don't think so.
Well, I don't want to call her grandmother. It just came out like that. Well, she's very sweet and dear to me, and I really appreciate her so very much being here because she gives me advice once in a while. She keeps quiet, but she don't give you too many advice. Well, maybe she does, but in her own different way when it needs to be said. And Vanessa, thank you here. Folks, I'll explain why I'm acting this way in just a few minutes because I always tell the truth. Freedom of speech, folks. That's what this station's about. Okay, my co-host, Jennifer Martin, is going to be her last show tonight, and I'm going to really miss you. I wish you were here. I'd give you a hug and a kiss on the cheek if your husband don't get jealous or my wife gets jealous.
You can kiss her on the cheek because I would.
Oh, thank you, Nicole. I would. Yeah, never mind. I think I was going to go a different way. Anyway, Jennifer, thank you so much for being us and helping us for the last 3 months. Come on, I went on a plow. That's too short. That's too loud.
There we go. That's better.
Thank you.
Man. What? What's going on here? All right. I don't have any big disc over here. All right. All right, Russie. Jennifer Martin is going to be our last day here on Wolf Spirit Radio, and I want to thank her personally here in my face because I got a text early in the morning. I said, "What the heck is this waking me up so early?" So I put my glasses on, look at it. It was Jennifer saying, "It's my last show, Max." That's what she said, and a few other words. You know what, Jennifer? Thank you so much. You came in a very, very,
very critical time.
Very critical time.
And it was so much appreciated.
Well, it was my pleasure. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. The door is always open. And if you ever need to do a show here as you as the guest or whatever, or any of you group people that what you're involved in, it may be too secret. But if you want to, spread it out, you let me know. We'll do a live, pre-recorded, whatever you want.
Sure will. Thank you.
Okay. All right, now, I get rid of this stuff. Okay.
Well, we have
Uh,
a few questions set up here.
no, we're not ready yet for
We're
that.
not ready yet?
Look. Okay.
Let me know when you're ready, honey bunny.
Thank you, honey bunny. God, that was sweet. Holy crap. That was sweet. Nicole, did you put any maple syrup in there?
Maybe.
Okay. Jennifer Martin's I really thank you very much. And the new co-host that's gonna be taking your place, he's right here in the chat here on Zoom. And his name is, I'm introducing you, John Soul, to Jennifer Martin and the whole Wolf Gang pack here in the chat room. Folks, say something, John. John, do you want me to unmute you?
Okay, yeah, I just had to get the unmute thing.
Welcome,
Yeah,
John.
hello everyone. Happy Halloween, I guess. And
Yeah. All right, we gotta get going. Okay, I'm gonna say a few words, and then we'll get done. We'll get going with Matthew, because if we stick around here any longer, I'm gonna break fireworks everywhere. So, hold on. What am I doing here? Wait a minute. Oh, okay. What just happened?
I don't know.
Oh my God. Okay, folks, listen. Don't mind me today. Max is having a misadventure right now, and I'm trying to do my best to get the show going. I do, you know how I am. I always say the truth. I need to say the truth. I got to come up with the truth. Well, 3 days ago, I found this envelope hidden outside, and I forgot that was there because I put it there like 5 months ago. So I brought it in and opened it up. I didn't open it till today. And when I opened it up, I said, what is this tobacco stuff? And then my cousin had sent it to me from Miami. And he said, enjoy. It's a new cigar I'm coming up with. Well, it wasn't a Cuban. I said, what kind of Cuban cigar? Well, I actually called him up. He said, what are you using that name Max for? He said, that's just for the show. It's nothing else. He said, listen to me. He said to me verbally, he says, why are you using that name Max? I know I said that. We just repeated it just now. Okay? I'm acting weird today for a reason. I'm not going to stall anymore. I'm just going to tell you. I got a lot of eyes looking at me right now. And it ain't just one. There's many of them. Okay? Okay. Give me a moment here. Let me think what I was going to say. All right. So I put it in this thing that twists around. Looks like like a blender or something. And I put it in there. And I started to smoke about maybe, 30 minutes. You see how I'm acting right now, weird again. Well, I smoked a little bit, maybe about 4 or 5 tucks. But there were, it was just, I know, I don't care. I tell the truth anyway. And I don't know what it didn't smell like it at all, pot, but I don't know what it was. I smoked it. And I'm pretty damn high, so excuse my words. I'm a higher high than Moonshine right now, believe me.
Well, I was wondering why you were so distracted. Now I know.
I'm sorry, huh? You know I don't like to do that in the show. Okay, folks.
Let's get to it.
Well, I was going to say that just now. Oh, before we get going, Nicole, I love you so much, and thank you for supporting me.
I love you too.
Oh, now I'm charged up. Okay, my guest tonight, he is Matthew Bueno, because Bueno means in Spanish good. Bueno, it means good. And I do feel that this man is good. I mean, not to eat, but it's a good person. That's what I meant to say. And I truly want to thank you for being on the show, Matthew Bueno. Do you want us to no, go ahead. Say whatever you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, we have some questions here. And I also just want to say, if you would like to get in contact with Matthew, his website is soulbodyharmonics.org. I will also post that in the Wolf Spirit chat. So Matthew, you want me to just go ahead and get into the questions?
Well, I wanted to go ahead and just thank you and Max both for having me. You guys are like family, in the work that you guys do in creating and raising the vibration on the planet. Jennifer, you have been just a model spiritual citizen in my life. You direct me to people who have major problems, major, issues, spiritual, dark stuff, all that stuff I love to do on this work, and so what it does for me is that it allows me to really be who I am. And so with that, I'd like to just share a blessing. And Russ, thank you for being in the production studio and helping Max with this and, and helping him to stay in balance and so forth. But I wanted to just share a song with you guys, just a blessing song for you. As Max was asking me what my nationality was earlier, I was telling him that I was Yaqui Indian from my mother's side, and Aztec Mexica from my father's side. My great relative is Pancho Villa. So, but I don't live up to that, But I just want to share this song with you, to bless all of you and your families, and for all the people listening. I pray that you guys all have a really good, time tonight. Maybe get some information, maybe even get a healing, So we'll just see what the Creator has in store for you. So I'm out here in Crestone, Colorado, and this song is about a blessing that's coming to you. Wayankayo wakaya iwayintelo yo hoye. Wayankayo wakaya iwayintelo yo hoye yo. Pasawi ku chanupa amaka kishaya. Yuha kaya iwayintelo yo wayankayo wakaya iwayintelo yo oye yo wayankayo wakaya iwayintelo yo oye wayankayo wakaya iwayintelo yo hoye yo pasawi ku chanupa amaka kishaya yuha wakaya iwayintelo yo wayankayo wakaya iwayintelo yo hoye yo wayankayo wakaya iwayintelo yo hoye wayankayo wakaya iwayintelo yo hoye yo pasawi ku chanupa amaka kishaya Yuha wakaya iwayintelo yo wayankayo wakaya iwayintelo yo hoye yo. Matakiasan. Upila, thank you for letting me share that song with you.
Thank you so
That was
much.
very beautiful. It's so authentic. Because look, let me tell you something. I've heard Native American, born in the families, but they, with the way you expressed it just now, you did it much deeper than the heart.
Oh,
Into the
thank
origin,
you.
the origin that you were creating. It felt so authentic. I really thank you for that.
Yeah.
Can you translate the gist of it?
What's that?
Oh, can he translate the gist of what he just saying?
Is the blessing, yeah.
Well, the gist is it's a Lakota language. I've been adopted by different clans, the Yakima people, the Karuk people in Mount Shasta, and the Lakota people in Wood, South Dakota, on the Rosebud Reservation. And my ate, my father, his name is Kenny Farmer, or Matochikala, Little Bear Doctor. He taught me that song last winter, and it talks about the blessing coming to the people. And what we consider people, is the people who carry their hearts in a good way. You don't have to be Native American or even have the blood to receive blessing. Creator blesses you because, you're a child of the universe. So that song is Wayankayo, is that I'm saying this song to you. I'm announcing this. I'm making a statement that's strong. This is what I say. This is my truth. And Chanupa is the sacred pipe of the people. And Pasawi is the name for white buffalo calf woman. It's the native name. Pasawi is the original name that the Lakota people gave white buffalo calf woman when she brought the sacred pipe to the people. And so Pasawi is like the life giver. And so this is about bringing this Chanupa so our people may live. And so this song, as I'm directing this song to you and to all who are hearing this, I'm talking to your hearts. I'm singing it to your hearts. I'm putting that medicine into you so you can feel the impact, and that's how we work with the music. That's how we sing, is that we always come. We're our own interpreters. The energy of that song was created by spirit. And so as it comes through my body, it comes through my heart, and it comes through my intention to you. So it's like I pronounced it in the beginning that this is a blessing to you. So that's what that song is.
You know what, Matthew, as you were singing, I got the image of me as a Native American woman. I'm in, leather dress, got one white feather, and we're all dancing around the campfire. And I've had that image before when I was drumming or, something like that. But that's what the power of the energy coming through that song led me to that image again. So thank you.
I love that.
Yeah, I also picked up on one of my lives as well as a shaman, and it really resonates with me as well.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, so we're gonna get into the questions then. Okay, so Matthew,
yes.
what is the work that you do before I ask this question? Because the first question we have here is, how did you get into the work that you're doing today? So what is your work and how did you get into it?
There are a lot of variables. I was born with the empowerment to have vision. At a very young age, I was able to see things that other people couldn't. I thought it was a natural thing. I thought everybody had it. I grew up, a very sensitive person, young man, and I had a lot of visitors when I was young. I used to have these Native men coming to my bedroom. I had these bald men coming to the schools. They would look into the schools from the window, and I would wave back, and the teacher would say, "What are you doing out there, Bueno? Pay attention." "Well, there's a man right there. He's staying over. He's waving at me." And she look out there, and of course, there would be nobody there. And so I grew up with this real keen sense of that I came into this world with a lot of helpers. And it wasn't until I started getting into trouble that these helpers started showing themselves more and more. I have the story that I told a long time ago. Some friends of mine, I was kind of a chunky kid, overweight kid growing up. And two of my friends, so-called friends, took me on this journey up the road, and they knew that I was fat, that I was slow, that if they got in trouble, they'd run and they'd leave me behind, and I wouldn't be able to, I would get in trouble. So they went over to the Mexican guy's house, stepped the street, and they proceeded to flip them off and ran. And I thought to myself, oh man, this isn't good. These guys are going to beat me up. So I ran as fast as I could up the road, and I turned the corner where there's a cabana club. There's a pool on the corner up there. And I just saw them taking off, and I just knew I'm dead. You know, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to face these guys. They're going to beat me up. And, you know, that's it. That's all there is to it. So I'm just going to have to face my demise. So as I turned around, there was that fat bald guy again waving at me from the inside the window, who got me in trouble at school. And he was rushing me into he was wearing a big old kimono, and he had these really hairy legs, which for me at that age, it was like a really, you know, that's one of those weird things that, anyways. So I grabbed onto his hairy legs, and he put his kimono around me, and I saw those boys run past me like I wasn't even there. And they didn't even look in my direction. And when I came out of the kimono, I looked down the street, and all those kids were gone. And I turned around, and the guy was disappeared. I mean, there was no sight. I mean, there was nowhere to go other than across the street or the house. And he was completely gone. And I've had a lot of those experiences working with my guides. They've saved me a lot of times until I started working with them. So I got into work because it was like, well, I mean, these guys are here. I might as well find out what they're here for. I might as well seek out what I'm here to do. So I proceeded to take metaphysics in 1989. And that's when I met Christ for the first time. Christ didn't come to me in a billowing ball of a golden cloud light. He came to me as a child. Him, Mother Mary, Peter, St. Francis, and John the Baptist all tackled me in my meditation. And they jumped on me, and they were all tickling me. And I said, man, you guys trying to make me pee or what? You know, in my meditation. And they all laughed, and they got up. And then as I was looking at them as children, we all started to grow back to the age that I was. I think I was 20. I was 25 at that time. And Christ looked at me. He had his hand on my shoulder, and he said, look, I don't want you to pray to me. Okay. You are like me. We're masters. We teach each other. You're here to teach. I'm here to teach. You teach what I tell you to teach. Okay. And we learn from one another. You report back to me. And so I got on my knees because it was Christ, you know, and he's like, get up. What are you doing? And I said, you're Christ. He goes, no, stand up. So he's teaching me, you know, this worship thing is good. Okay. This thing that you're doing, I understand. I respect that. But we're the same. He told me we're the same. And so from that point on, Christ came to my aid a lot of times and gave me insight about how to help the people. And so I started really working with the masters, the angelic beings. I worked with the galactics. I worked with the Andromedans, the Arcturians, the Atlanteans, the Palladians, the Lemurians. And each of them beautifully they orchestrate this telepathy thing. I haven't really figured it out completely. And to this day, I'm still, learning from them in that way. What they do is that they bring this matrix into my crown chakra. And this matrix speaks to each of my lives. And it's like a soul retrieval. In that moment, they bring in past lives right in that moment. And I'm talking to myself from that past life. And then it's my own voice that I hear in this matrix. And this matrix energy is going through into this center hub of light. And then it goes straight into my mind. And then it shows me a picture or a feeling of what I'm supposed to be doing next, or how I can help the situation on Earth, or, And so for a long time, I thought I was crazy. I thought I lost it. I thought I'd been smoking what Max was smoking tonight, But I started to really listen to them. I started to follow through about what they were trying to teach me. And I began to realize that, I have a soul purpose. There is something in my soul that tells me I need to be present for people today. And so I started teaching. I started teaching these classes about getting people to connect to the realities of their own soul's truth. And in that reality, there's a lot of things that as people, we have a tendency to believe in the tabloids. We believe in the newspapers. We believe in what other people say, world leaders, but we don't hardly follow what's already inside our souls, And so the teachers, when they come in to teach me, to teach others, they give me a whole curriculum about what that person needs. And what it does for me is that it's beautiful because to what that is. And so I wanted just to, talk a little bit about that. how I came into this is like, I feel like for a long time I was resentful at God that he wrote me into this. This is not what I asked for. I wanted to be a welder. I wanted to work at a baby food factory. I wanted to be a CNC operator. You know, I wanted to do other things, but every time I try to get a real job, they gave me more people to work on. So I have just accepted the fact that I'm a teacher, that I'm like a galactic ambassador. You know, I don't know how to talk directly to the ETs, but when I receive their messages, I hear this really high pitched humming. And they called me out here to Crestone, Colorado, which, you know, I feel was what I feel was kind of like a good step for that, because over here in Crestone, little did I know this is like an ET, you know, hangout. You know, there's a lot of that extraterrestrial energy here on this land. And there's a lot of portals here, but I'm getting too far off base. But so the energies that I work with is eclectic. It's not just one way. You know, there's so many ways that come in. And that's the beautiful thing about this work, is that it's just not one way for people. I have a lot of different clients, a lot of different students who are learning ways that they understand it. It's not up to me how it's being taught. You know, it's up to the creator. It's up to the energies that want them to move down that path. And I'm the interpreter of that. And so that's a long answer, I know, but thank you for letting me speak.
That's all right. We do have a question that came in from the chat. From
Okay.
Tim Gouda. Matthew, do you know if that Yaqui sorcerer Don Juan Matas existed? He was supposed to have been Carlos Castaneda's teacher, Nagual. I heard he did exist. If so, what can you say about him?
I don't know who that is, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Problem. Okay, we'll go to the next question. So how does this work with spiritual healing affect your life personally?
That's a good question. Working with others, you know, it's like every person that I've ever worked with is my own teacher. Not every person, I have not been, and honestly, I have not been 100% directly healing for people. You know, a lot of people, I believe that they believe that shaman, medicine people, or workers like myself have the capability to heal them. I don't have that capability to heal people. What I am is a conduit. I allow the energy to move through my body and the words to come through, and I'm a bridge to that reality. You know, and it's for people, it's important for them to understand, you know, it depends how much love that you're willing to accept from the creator. And the creator is the healer, you know. And for a lot of us, I think that we've gotten a bad rap about that. People have, when I used to work with a lot of Hollywood movie stars back in the 90s, and they don't want to do the work. They wanted to pay me to do the work. And that was great. The money was great, but it wasn't fun for me. The energy of the exchange has to be right. You know, it has to be, for me, I have to feel that this person is accepting my help, and whatever they're asking for, the energy exchange has to be even. Because if I'm doing this because, you know, I want to be able to be in service somehow, I'll do it. You know, if the creator, if it feels right for me, but I'm always feeling, you know, what that feeling is. So when we're working with people, every person I've ever worked with has been like a teacher for me. You know, it's not one-sided. It's a two-sided journey. It takes two. You know, I can't do this without anyone else, you know, and there's a whole forum or a procedure to get people ready for what they're about to receive, you know. And so we work with people in a place that they are at. I won't work with somebody who is just beginning and bring them all this Arcturian energy, because they'll get blown away and they won't be able to sleep for a week. So we try to work with people right where they are in their awareness. That way they can kind of work through their issues or work through whatever it is that the spirits give them, so they can see their truth by their words and by what they feel. And so working with people in that way, you know, it really allows people to grow and to experience what changes it for them, what helps them, what they're holding on to, what's holding them back, and what their connection really is, to their heart, to their embodiment, and to the energies that they carry around them.
Good.
Does
Thank
that make
you.
sense?
Yeah, for sure. And like Russ was saying, even the student is the teacher. So
Yep.
everybody has their own, point of view and path, and you can everything. Okay. So did you have mentors or teachers that taught you these talents?
Yes, I have one teacher. It wasn't until just recently that I recognized one of my teachers, and she's gonna probably not like that I'm gonna say this, but my girlfriend, Katrina Armstrong, she is a seer. She's a visionary, and she works with the different matrices on the planet Earth. And what she does to me is that she inspires the parts of myself that I don't like to look at. As a human being living in this life, there are lots of parts of myself that I don't really like. And one of those parts is the emotional part of myself. And she has a strong masculine, to where when I'm wrong, she'll just stand there and stare at me. And I can't move my eyes. I can't move. I feel like I'm paralyzed. Like she just puts her energy fangs into my body, and I just can't move. It's like I'm being wrapped in a web. No, just because it's Halloween, I just said that. No, but her energy is so inspiring. It activates parts of myself that I felt before were lying dormant, or parts of myself that I don't nurture enough. And so she's really helping me to clear those parts of myself and really, really look at those parts of being power rather than a weakness. Katrina Armstrong, she's a powerful seer and visionary, and she's doing marvelous work on this planet. And she's the one teacher right now that that I have to admit that she is quite the instructor for me to see some of my faults and turn them into strengths. Another teacher I have, his name is Tawaunus. His name means man who goes up the mountain and falls off the other side. Tawaunus is my brother. He's Nez Perce Indian. He's a great nephew of Chief Joseph, and he was my singing teacher. He taught me how to convey energy out into the world, and then with the intention to pull all that energy in to me. And then even though the song was coming in from a different source, I was able to intertwine those energies together and then create this energy to come out and touch the people in the world. And so, I sounded like Peter Brady, man, when he was just getting his voice, and he was like, the whole cracking of the throat thing. And I sounded terrible. I hated my voice. Sister Susan in Catholic school, she put me to the side and said I was in the special group. And I got older. I knew what that special group was now. It's the shut up group. You guys don't sing. So Tawaunus taught me how to harness that energy and how to visualize healing in people while I'm singing these songs, and that was a really profound thing for me. So during my sessions, when I have sessions here at the house doing massage, I'm doing like a ceremonial massage, doing channeling, doing healing work, I sing at the end of each of my sessions to bring in all the aspects of that person back into their body so they can feel that energy exchange happening between them and Creator. Another beautiful teacher I've had, his name was Gary Princeau. Gary Princeau, he died last year in November. He was one of my really, really good friends. We called him the Wizard. I used to babysit his kids when they were a lot smaller. And Gary was those types of people that would make everyone laugh no matter where he was. Church, ceremony, the grocery store. He would wear these big old clown shoes and embarrass his kids at school. And the beautiful thing about Gary was that he lived his life every day like he wanted to share everything who he was, about laughter, about humor, and carrying that humor, because humor is medicine. And the beautiful thing about Gary was that when he died, when he crossed over last year, I felt him for about 3 days, in my energy and in the wind, in the sunshine. I felt his laughter everywhere. And I'm not sure, not everyone, I haven't felt that I feel different things from different people, but his teaching was that, was like, if you create a better you in this universe, people are going to feel that even after you're gone. And so he left a legacy in his wake, and that was for me, that was something that taught me about death. There is no death, there's only another life, another embodiment, and Gary's presence in my life was something very special. He taught me a lot about forgiveness and acceptance and just humor and family. My other teachers right now that I have that are Native American, that are my ate Kenny farmer, Mato Chikala, and Walking Eagle, Mani Wambly, and they're both medicine people. Walking Eagle, Jack Tom Sr. is a medicine man. He doesn't like to admit that he's a medicine man, which is a great humble thing. But he is a really powerful, beautiful man. He's a great leader for the Karuk people. He's part of the Karuk people, but he has a leadership role in the Sundance ceremonies that we have in Mount Shasta. And Walking Eagle, he's those kinds of teachers that he doesn't take any BS. He'll look right through you and tell you what's wrong with you. And then what do you do with that? What do you, you got issues with this and this and this. And then, and I'll get mad at him. Why would you say that in front of all these people, and I'll come home and I'll recognize, that was my ego, or this was that. And so I have a lot of that, there's a lot of teachers that teach their medicine and their knowledge in different ways. Some of them are very subtle. Some of them, Charlie Red Hawk Tom, he used to teach through humor. We called him Paneafich, which is the coyote. And so he would teach through jokes and through playing tricks on people. A Walking Eagle, he teaches through his songs, through his stories, and he teaches through just his straight talk. He's a warrior. Mato Chikala, Kenny Farmer, he teaches through his testimonies, through his life experiences that he's had with his grandmother. He talks about the witch people, the black nations, the dream people, the skinwalkers, the things that ordinary people don't talk about around, right before you're eating dinner. He talks about skinwalkers, about these spirits that know how to jump in people's bodies. And so I learned that way. That was just something easy for me to understand. And so I started helping people with taking out entities of their field, of their bodies, and helping them to reclaim their power back to the light, And so the greatest teacher I have right now is life itself. Life, when you're on the path of remembering and then you're on this path of regaining your conscious awareness about who you are and what your life is supposed to be, Creator just shows up in your life in different aspects, through children, through adults, through the trees, through the animals, and I really believe that I have two lives. I have this life that I in my reality, and I have another reality in my dream time. And my dreams time really talks about a lot of things that are coming. And one of the things that, and I'm not here to try to put fear into people or that way, but there's something big coming down the pipeline for this planet, and it's time to get prepared and not to be, don't go hide under any rocks, don't, they're going to find you no matter what. But there's also a powerful time that this earth is changing, it's shifting. The Old Testament, the way that people have learned through their lives, the Old Testament, the greed, the hostilities, the judgment, the separation, that's all going to change, and we're going to have to relive a lot of our ancient selves into this time frame. And people are going to be really confused by that because they don't know what that means. And then there's a lot of teachers like myself, there's Max, Jennifer, there's all these other people that I know, Tawanis, who are teaching these ways. My girlfriend Katrina, she's teaching these ways. And what it does is that it puts us in a place of alertness, not panic, but alertness, to really look at the signs that the spirits, the Tankashalas, they're always constantly trying to get our attention 24/7. And so right now they're really, really coming in because there's a battle. There's a battle between the dark side and the light side. And the light side is winning. And the dark side is getting really, really desperate. And they're doing things to make people look like they're crazy, but they're really not. And so, one of the important things that I'm just going to say, if anyone's listening, at this time, this is a really important time for you to love yourself. No matter what, love yourself. Because if without you in connection with yourself, nothing can get into that. Nothing can work its way in there. If you find yourself really overthinking and getting panicky about little bitty things, really check in with yourself and really get grounded, because there's something happening in the planet that's coming up to the surface, and we're part of that. We're all connected to that planet, and whatever happens to the planet is going to happen to us, and so we have to be alert for that. So yes, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but everything is our teacher.
That's all right. We've been having kind of a discussion in the chat here.
Oh, okay.
It might be a little bit off topic, but I still want to ask it because it seems significant to some people. When you mentioned Christ, this person is asking, what does the guest feel about the concept that the sun in the sky is reborn on the 25th of December by taking a 1-degree tilt north and therefore is born? But when that happens, the sun is in the constellation of Virgo, which represents the Virgin. How does the guest feel that perhaps we have all been hoodwinked into believing the Bible, the greatest story ever told, in quotations, and coincidentally, the New Testament took approximately 700 years to write, and God himself suggests for us to trust the work of no man? I'm not sure how you want to answer that, but
wow, that is a can of worms if I've ever heard one. The only thing I can say to the Bible and to all of that is that I believe in inspiration and encouragement. A lot of the beautiful biblical, I was at a channeling one time, and the channeler, I didn't know who they were. His name was White Eagle, Chief White Eagle. And I knew him from a lifetime that I had worked on a long time ago. And he called out to me out of the back of the room. I was sitting in the back because, I've never been to a channeling before. And he called me Bartholomew. And I didn't know who Bartholomew was. And then Chief White Eagle says, go ask your dad. And both my parents raised me as Catholic. I was adopted at 3 months old, and I found my birth parents after 47 years. And I went to a Catholic school. I had a lot of priests as friends. I went to church. I didn't enjoy church. When I found the Sweat Lodge, that was my church. And when people mention the Bible, I used to get really offended, or I used to get reactive to it, because I didn't believe anything in it. Nothing told me anything that was new to me. I had this really intense insight about my relationship with Christ before I even met Christ. And I don't know much about, the whole atmosphere thing. I just know about what my world has created for myself. And my world is all about, there are so many, how can I say this there are so many mysteries that I think people, if the mysteries really showed themselves about, the veils of realities that we have here, it would blow the socks off a lot of the priests and a lot of the people who stand for the Bible. Talking and speaking with Christ as a child and feeling him inside my heart, at the same time looking at him as a man, as I'm looking at myself, that changes something inside you. Everything that I was taught wasn't true for me. The Catholic the dying on the cross, none of that stuff really happened. Is what Christ has told me. And the beautiful thing about that is that when the masters speak to me, they don't just talk at me. They show me. They show me things. They influence me by giving me an experience to really make that, whatever they say, concrete evidence as being in my life. You know, I talked to Christ about my birth parents when I was very small. I didn't know who my mom and dad were. I was adopted at 3 months old. My mom and dad told me, you know, I created my relationship with Christ the way I understand Christ. And, you know, it's not anyone else's story but my own, you know, and that's how I gained my world. That's how I base my truth on what I do and who I am, is by how they affect me in my own experiences. So I don't know if I answered your question. All I know is that the world is what we created to be for ourselves. And I've been blessed with having John the Baptist as my, he taught me how to channel, and he allowed me to be psychic at some points in my life. I didn't really like the psychic whole thing because I didn't resonate with it as much as I do with the clairvoyance and the channeling of the elders and channeling of spirits, helping other people. So I'm sorry if I didn't answer your question. That's just, you know, my interpretation about what you asked.
Matthew, I have a question. Were you Bartholomew? Where did the Bartholomew tie-in come in? Why did that person call you Bartholomew?
Because I was one of the disciples in my past life.
That's what I thought.
And so as I went back to that lifetime, I saw and experienced a shadow lifetime. In that reality, I was working with spirits and helping them go home. I didn't know I had that gift. And Bartholomew was good at that. You know, Christ said that I call on Paul and you, Bartholomew, to cast the light, to allow those who are stuck, and maybe stuck wasn't the word, but, you know, stuck between worlds to go home. And what the kind of freakish thing was that what Bartholomew's story was similar to the story that I'm living in this life now. I'm doing the same thing, but in a different reality as Bartholomew, but as Matthew Bueno. And Christ told me, he says, you know, be happy that you are Bartholomew, but it's even greater that you're Matthew S. Bueno this lifetime. Yeah. So, yep, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Awesome. We just had a couple questions. I'm going to tie them in together.
Okay.
So Buzz wanted to know, which is Russ here, what are some of your thoughts on current events? And Vanessa is asking, can Matthew tell us some of what he's seeing for the future? So maybe if you want to combine them quickly.
Are you guys testing me? Is someone testing me in here?
We're testing
Merlin,
you.
Merlin, I said, don't come in today, Merlin. Merlin was wearing this really, really nice outfit. He was working with his blue and white polka dots on his tie. Usually when I'm doing radio shows, he comes over. When I'm being too serious, he'll make fart noises with his armpit, and he'll stand there and just look at me funny. So I was just wondering if he was. So anyways, future events.
If you have any thoughts on what's going on presently also.
Okay. So current events. I know for myself in my world and what I've created and things I've seen, it has been one of the greatest experiences for me to witness so much change on the planet right now. Even though we're faced with, you know, a bunch of people going to the borders, you know, and there's a lot of chaos right now, but there's also a lot of distractions. We're getting a lot of distractions in our world to keep us from the truth. In my heart of hearts, and speaking with the elders and the spirits of this land and the spirits that come in through my dream time, they're all talking about a celebration. They're talking about that the people of the planet Earth are going to come together, you know, and they're not going to know right now. I could say that and be like, yeah, what a crock of, you know, but hey, it is what it is. There's a change happening in the horizon. people and children are going to start really, the children are going to start teaching the elders. The children are going to start coming forward, and they're going to start speaking, to the adults in ways that the adults never heard. The children are our future, but they're also going to be bringing in a lot of energies onto this planet to bring balance back. The children is something that we really need to pay attention to, because that's our future. A lot of the elders, they talk to me about the Andromedan people and the Palladian people and Lemurian people are starting to show themselves a lot more. If you ever get the chance to go up on a mountain somewhere, over the Sierras, over Mount Shasta, if you can look above all the trees, there's a certain amount of light that comes from the planet in different areas. And those are all landing sites where the Arcturians came in, and they put these energy matrices in the planet. And so the people who pray with the planet, like myself, going into sweat lodges and singing songs and working with these spirits, they all talk about a celebration coming of the people of different nationalities coming together to celebrate life. I'm not sure how far down the future that is. I don't get like a time frame. I only know that I will experience that in my lifetime, and I'm 51. So it sounds like maybe in the next 20-something years, hopefully, maybe I'll live to be 90. Maybe it'll be, 39 years. But as far as current events, there's a lot of distractions. The world leaders and a lot of the Trump administration and all that stuff. There's a lot of stuff happening underneath everything. And, for me, coming to you in a humble way, I'm part of a special group of spiritual workers that work in the background to push all this negativity energy accelerated to dissolve quicker. And I don't know the end result of that. I don't know how that's working. I only know that every year when I go to ceremony, to Sundance, there's always a different theme happening with the spirits. The spirits are the ones that teach us what to do, what to pray for, and what to think about other than our own prayers. And it's what is beautiful about that is that, is that you can feel that shift occurring. You can feel that energy really sculpting your world. And so by answering your question about current events, all I can really tell you is that to be prepared, be prepared, and to really look at the people you need to forgive, check in with yourself about who you are and what your soul's truth is in this world. And I believe that a lot of us has been thrown off our own paths, and we're being called back to our spirit. We're being called back to our souls. We're being called back to our medicine. And like I say, you don't have to be Native American to experience this. This is for everyone. We came from a very beautiful place, and the Creator and the spirits really want to switch this back on planet Earth. They want to turn this around. They want to bring that energy back to this planet, and the Arcturians and the Palladians and the Lemurians are all helping with that energetically, and it's not until we start to understand the veils of our realities that we will have more of these experiences in our lives. So, I'm trying to not say everything because I just want you to know that as individuals, learning to make and create your own world and listening to what your heart wants, everything will shift for you in your world. Okay. So my teacher, Master Katumi, just told me right now, he said, I can tell you one thing, is that there is going to be a lot of conflict coming in our way right now. And the way that you stay safe, he says, is that learn to ground yourself, learn to be in your truth. And being in your truth means to be true to yourself. Follow your own hearts, because the words and the energies are coming through your bodies Everyone is experiencing this on some level of understanding and awareness. And once you come into that awareness for yourself, you'll be given some dreams or some insights about what to do with your life. And just by changing the way you think about life, you'll be able to help change the momentum of negativity on the planet. So thank you for letting me speak. And that's all I'm going to say.
All right. That was awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Matthew. Not sure where Max went, but we are just a couple minutes at the top of the hour. And Russ, if you want, we can take a little break here, 3 to 5 minute break, and we will come back with our guest, Matthew Bueno.
You're listening.
Okay.
Take a breather.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I didn't expect all that stuff to come up, so I was a little thrown by that.
Yeah.
The whole Bartholomew thing threw me off.
Yeah, there's a few things that, our chatters really like to throw in some interesting things.
I'm going to burn some more medicine right now. I'm burning some.
Awesome.
That's called kishwoof. It's a
Kishwoof?
It's kishwoof. It's actually a celery root that in the June and July we go and hike up into the high countries, and this stuff grows on the side of mountains. Here I got the top part right here, and it's what it's called. It's actually a natural celery root, and that's the root part. This is the top part, yeah, and it grows. And when you're out there digging for it, you're like an archaeologist because you can't use metal. You have to use antlers or sticks, and the roots go everywhere. Yeah. And so it's a celery root. It's another name for it is angelica root. And we use this in our ceremonies. We sprinkle it on the stone people and the sweat lodges, and it helps to heal and it helps to clear houses too.
Is it also edible?
Yes. Yeah, we make teas.
Tea.
I chew on it when I'm smoking tobacco or praying with tobacco. I usually take a little bit of that and chew on it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a really powerful root. But and it gets rid of bad breath.
Because I'm near the Rocky Mountains, but I don't know what kind of roots we have. I'm assuming we would have something like that too, because we're all in the Rockies, right?
Yeah, it grows on sunshine side of the mountain.
Yeah,
the sunny side of the mountain.
Cool.
Hi, John. How are you?
John, you can jump right in anytime you want to.
Yeah, I was just reflecting on some of the stuff that you're saying. When you talked about John the Baptist, I remember there's that verse in what was it, Mark 3? Where it says that John the Baptist was like the spirit of Elijah for those who can accept it. And so from that, I kind of got the impression that John the Baptist was like Elijah reincarnated. You ever heard anything like that? I think we lost somebody. Oh, yeah, there you are.
There I am.
Did you hear my question?
No, I didn't hear your question.
Okay. There's a verse in the Bible that says, for those who can accept it, John the Baptist is the spirit of Elijah. And that's Jesus speaking to the other disciples. And so I got the impression that what he's maybe saying is that he's the reincarnation of Elijah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Since you had talked to him, whether or not.
Yeah, no, yeah. John is like Geronimo. He's very short with his words, but he gets right to the point, and he has BS. He doesn't put any fruity pebbles on anything. He's
fruit pipers sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. John is a militant. He's very militant, and he's serious. He only works with people who really feel a connection to what they're really doing is important. I didn't take what I did seriously for a long time. I would use my powers for really, really bad things. I would put thoughts into women so I could talk to them. You know, I things like that. I had a very powerful gift, and John straightened me out. You know, he told me that if I didn't respect what I was given from Christ, then, you know, they would take it from me. So it was quite the eye opener working with John. And when he showed me not just the power itself, but what the end result is in other people's lives, he gave me the feeling of what I was doing and how I was helping people. It was like I could feel people's pain, and I could feel the pain leaving them. And it gave me a new birth, a new feeling about the work that I was doing, meaning more to me. So yeah, John, he still comes to me often, but just as a support. You know, like when you're a kid, you're 5 years old playing soccer, and your dad shows up on the sidelines. It's like, oh man, my dad's here. I got to be good. I got to do this right. You know, and that's how I feel when John comes to some of my work.
Captain Max Steel Show.
Okay, in the chat room or in the chat, I have 3 questions, 3 points.
All right, folks. Thank you for coming back. Back to the Max Steel Show with some really great people here in the chat and my chat room here in the Zoom room. And thank you for returning back, because what we're talking about here is very important, and a lot has to be said. So take it away, Matthew. Go ahead, Matthew.
Wait, oh, you want me to sing another song?
Well,
if you want.
if you want, I don't care.
Okay, but this song is for the children of the planet.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay, Russ, turn me up.
You're up.
Go ahead.
Wacheki apo yo wana wacheki apo yo wana ya wacheki apo yo wana ya wacheki apo yo wana ya wacheki apo yo wacheki apo yo hoye yo woka jaki lena woka kijapi mixu ya po yo wacheki apo yo wana ya wacheki apo yo wana ya wacheki apo yo wacheki apo yo hoye yo matakiasan.
Thank you.
So okay, wacheki apo is telling the children to come back to the light, to come back to these ways, to come back to our families, to come back to the medicine of the people and receive healing from love from your family. Family doesn't mean just people. It means animals. Comes to back to the four-leggeds, the shunka wakang, the horse people, the dog people, the bear people. You know, this is the animals, the plants, the trees, the water, the wind, the resources of the planet is our family. You know, and this is not just for little kids. These are for us. We are the children of the planet. You know, and so this song tells us to come back to our power, come back to who we are as human beings, and put down your phones. You know, well, it's serious. I went to the Monterey Bay Aquarium last month, and there's all these kids just sitting on the phone, looking at their phones, and not looking at the otters and the jellyfish and the sharks. You know, and people, you know, and their phones is just nutty. So, you know, there's a lot of things happening right now, especially on the reservations. A lot of children, teenagers especially, don't feel loved or belonging to. And, you know, it's my mission and a lot of others to have a rites of passage for our teenagers coming of age. Not just, you know, the women, but the males, because the males need to be taught how to protect the women, how to honor the women, how to respect the women, you know, and that's a huge thing right now. You know, we need to get out of bullying and get into a relationship. And I believe if we can get a few teenagers involved with other kids, they can be the greatest teachers, you know. So, yeah, that song is about healing the children.
Absolutely. And I believe that especially the younger children now are bringing in a whole new energy.
Yeah.
So I think there's been a loss for respect for children because of some of the more recent generations, you know, kind of phasing out, you know, they're in their phones, they're in their video games. But there's so many children that are coming into this world that have talents that are beyond what our generations are, you know. I mean, we were just the tip of it. We started it, but you know, whole new codes are coming in, and messages and vibrations, and it's happening in our lifetime for sure.
Yeah. There's a group of Arcturian children I met over in Kauai last year in February, and these children, this one, I'll talk about one. Her name is Alexandria Russell, and she does modeling in Kauai. And when I met her, her whole frontal lobe was just purple, like this big ball of light. And she's just talking, and this thing is just following her around wherever she looked like a unicorn, but this purple ball. And she would look, and it would just follow her around, and I was just staring at her. And she's like, "What are you looking at?" And I said, "Are you Arcturian?" And she didn't know what I was talking about, of course. And so I had to explain, you know, a little bit about where her people come from, and just by what I was seeing inside her. And Arcturian children have this beautiful delegating, manifesting energy that whatever they put their mind to, they create in the moment. And they could be looking at a crowd of people and start up a conversation about world peace, and then those people will find ways about creating world peace, and they don't even know why they're doing it, because her energy influences other people's empathic fields to where they feel like that's what they're supposed to be doing. And so I told her, I said, you need to be really careful about what you think about, you know. And so so her and I, you know, we got together and we did some healing work on for some people on the island. But she's very, very, I mean, her energy is so, you could see within her veils. Some veils around people are so hidden because we have this persona, or we have how we want to be seen, or what our presentation is. Arcturian children just leave it all out there. They just show it all off because that's who they are, you know. And so Arcturian kids, they're really, really dramatic, very creative, outspoken, and they don't have anything to hide. So if you know somebody like that, you know, they could be Arcturian. Send them my way so I can talk to them.
For sure. Cool. All right. I'm going to go into some more questions here.
Okay.
So what does it mean to clear someone's aura field, or negativity, or entity clearings?
Everything has a vibration. When you're in a crowd of people, right, and you go out and you have a really good feeling about the friend you're with, you're out there hearing the music, you know, you're joyful, having a couple of drinks, and then all of a sudden you feel heavy. You feel tired, drained. Usually that's something that's in your field that isn't vibrating with your energy. When I work with people and clearing their fields, it's like their fields tell a story. Your body has a natural mechanism that knows how to heal itself. The awareness that we have as human beings is incredible, but we don't use all of our talents from our mind. We use maybe 15% of our brain, you know. And can you imagine if we're using 100% of our brain, the things that we can do? Well, vibration is in everything, like energy, chi, life force. So when we're singing a song, we're changing the vibration. You could be talking about, you know, I had to file bankruptcy for this business I had, and man, all the people that they lost their jobs, and you sing a song that is about upliftment and encouragement and love and healing. And people are going to hear that right away. And it's going to change the vibration right away. It's going to change how they feel. They're going to get hope. They're going to get feelings of something shifting in themselves. And so when we're working with people, there's sort of a protocol that the masters like to teach. They like to teach a grounding technique and how to discern what energies are in your field, what energies you're manifesting, what energies are coming from your past, what energies are being projected at you, what energies have you been picking up from your parents and now exploiting that in your world. There's a lot of different ways that you can look at someone's field and dissolve that. A lot of the basic, energies that create negativity in our field is our own thinking, what we think about ourselves, how we judge ourselves, how we feel we look in the world, what we think people see us as, and so we have the self-judgment. And a lot of us as children, we've had, maybe you got beat up a lot, or we got bullied, or we got sexually abused by our parents or somebody that we know. Maybe we were never heard. Maybe we got left in a high chair too long and our mothers never paid attention to us, right? Well, so we're going to carry that through our adulthood. And then people that we know, that we see, who have the same traits in their own lives, that's going to trigger us. That's going to trigger for that energy to come out. So what we do is that we tap into someone's energy field and we bring in the energies of the masters or the ancestors or the medicine people or the animal spirits. And what they do is that they connect again with allowing people to feel how much love they're willing to accept in their bodies. And it amplifies that field. It amplifies them from that higher frequency. And the higher frequency, when it comes in, it amplifies that energy. And you can see the different colors of where people are holding energies. I can see if they're holding them in their belly, if you eat for emotion, if you're about anxiety, thinking too much in the future, if you have depression because energy's in the past, all these things will stand out. So what we do is that we have the masters come in and they automatically all they do is put their hands on that person's aura and that energy will start to move through their body. It's like having training wheels, God training wheels on your body that helps you remember what it feels like to feel better about yourself. And as soon as you start thinking something better about yourself, it's like you're supporting and validating yourself for that to occur. So like I said, as a conduit, we allow that conduicy of energy to come through, we teach people how to invite that energy and high frequency and vibration into their bodies so they can start feeling the containment that they create with that love. And as that love starts to grow and amplify with the masters, people can start to have a more of a courageous in-look about themselves. We become accountable. We become, we feel like we're being supported by these spirits. So we feel like we have our big brother with us. And so if I go down that neighborhood, I know I'm going to be safe. I got my posse with me. There's nothing that's going to happen to me now. I got my posse with me, so what I mean? And so that energy, as it comes into your field, you automatically dissipates away from your body, but entities, man, that's something different because, just in the past 3 years, I have been facing galactic entities, and those are something I have never had to deal with before. And galactic entities, they have a very uncanny way to actually go into your past lives and infiltrate your past lives into the now moment inside this lifetime. How they do that, I do not know. But all I know is that I have a couple of like Ashtar, Metatron, Maitreya, Elmoria, of course, Archangel Michael. And there are, as these new problems show up or these new challenges show up in people's lives, more and more of new teachers start to come into my life that I don't know who they are. So I test them. Are you of the light? Make sure that, because as new challenges arise in this way of life, and not everyone is going to expose themselves and say, I have a galactic entity in my field. They don't even know what that is. You would have to have experiences after experiences after experiences and to really feel that conscious attack. I have a woman right now who, let me ask if that's okay to talk about this. Okay. There's a woman right now in my life that she calls me maybe every 3 days, every 4 days, and she's constantly being attacked. She's constantly being attacked by someone who crossed over. They made a pact in their life when they were alive to go after this woman. And the dimensional attacks that they do to her is so profound for me because I'm a seer. I can see and pick up on the emotions behind what is sent to this person. And there was so much hatred, so much demise, so much jealousy, all mixed into one. It was almost like the spirit died in a murderous act. And over lifetimes, it just accumulated more hatred and more of this, just fed off of it. And pretty soon it just started to move. And, it saw her light and now it wants her light. And I'm finding that a lot of people who are meant to do great things on the planet are being attacked by these galactic entities. And so I've made it my, and Jennifer, you know this about me, is that I made it my my life practice to figure out ways to find solutions for these people, because I don't believe that anyone deserves that kind of treatment in this world, in this life. No one deserves that, and so that's the only thing right now that it's one of my biggest challenges is working with those energies, because entities that come from the planet, they're pretty easy to work with, to get rid of. But the momentum of the hatred and the negativity are coming from the dark side. It's just, that's right now I'm trying to teach others to do the work that I do, or teach work that will come through them from what I've learned, so they can help me with this work. We need more helpers to do this work, to bring back balance. So working with people's vibrations, you can see the whole story of what's happening from the time they were born. And it is only what their soul allows you to see. We can't do something beyond people's will. It's not up to us to change that. We can only ask permission, and their soul will only allow us to see what will help them and benefit them in the moment.
Matthew, how can we sign up for classes where you could teach us to do the healing work? Do we sign up on your website, or how do we?
Yeah. Okay, I'll offer this. If you go to my website, www.soulbodyharmonics.org, and you sign my guest book, I'll contact you and we'll set up a time I can kind of give you an assessment about what's going on in your life. So if you put your email in there, I'll be able to contact you personally, and we can sit down and assess what it is that you're meant to do and what I can help you with and assist you with that. And I think right now it's really, really important for us to learn to ask for help, because I know for me, I don't like asking for help. I want to do it all by myself. I want to figure it out myself, but I have to, even myself, I have to learn to ask for help, and that's what I'm about.
So Matthew, I have a question about some of these entities, whether they're galactic or come from our planet, or as you say, from a dark side. How are you able to discern where they're coming from, and if some of the galactics are actually maybe a part of a negative group as well?
There's a vibration, a signature that every guide has. One of my guides, her name is Etherian, and she's from some galaxy that I'm still trying to figure out. It's a galaxy of non-conflict. And I believe I met her for that reason, to be able to tap into the origin of these entities in order to take them away. Because once you find the origin, they've never existed. You can go back in time, because in the past lives, the energy has already been spent. So that energy can be easily dissolved, right? So it's not completely always generating. It's an old energy that generated its intention. Now it can be dissolved. And then we can change the reality of the now moment with that. So when I met Etheria, I was working on a person, her father used to work for the CIA. And there was a lot of, they were being watched by the Greys, the ETs, the Greys. And I'm getting into the little bit of the craziness, but I'm going to say it anyways. I had to cloak myself in order to work with this woman, because I myself will leave a trail. You know, when I'm going to someone's energy field, I'm leaving a trail. So I have to cloak myself in order to cover up my footprints in order to get there. So Etheria taught me how to feel into that conflict and how to discern where these energies come from. So as I was working on this woman, we were working with ICEs and going back in time and clearing up all these energies and some of the timelines that were being exposed. And so as we were doing this work, Master Kuthumi, my teacher, he taps me on the shoulder and goes, look what you attracted. And I looked up and I just saw feet coming down. And he said, expose yourself. And I looked at him, I said, expose myself? He goes, not like that. Show them your light. I said, oh, okay. Oh, now, okay, show them my light. So I showed him my love. I just opened up my chest and it showed my brightest love and light that comes from my soul and my ancestors. And that was my signature. I showed my signature to this. And she went right back and she showed me her signature. And we connected. We connected in a way that I traveled through her signature. I ended up on her planet. And I'm looking around and I'm looking at all these beings floating by me, just floating next to me. And they were like in these hooded, and they would just greet each other and bow. And then as I'm feeling into this planet, I could feel there's absolutely no conflict whatsoever on the planet, in the history, on the collective and the higher collective. There was no conflict. And as I was feeling into the no conflict, I felt a really brash, barbaric, dark, negative energy. And I whipped around because I thought for sure there was something standing behind me, and it was Earth. I said, oh man, we got a long ways to go. You know, there's some really heavy duty. And so I was able to feel the different discerning energies between no conflict and barbaric energy. And it was so heavy duty in my field, I would never forget that. So because I'm a resonator, I resonate with people, and I can vibrate through their energy field, and I could see it's like sonar. I could see everything that's happening in their world. Working with the origination of where entities came from, it's almost like learning to listen to them even though you don't want to. There was a medium who lived in a haunted house back in Mississippi. And back there's a lot of slave trade, a lot of voodoo magic, a lot of black magic. And there was this one entity that got its light back. And only Archangel Michael could have done that. And when I visited the house, I didn't go in myself. I sent the angels in for me. I said, no, you guys go do recon, because I don't feel safe but doing this by myself. So they came back and told me the story that the woman who was haunting the house was a medium. Her son died in the Blue Coat War, in the French-American War somewhere, and he died alone. And when the medium, the woman, she was trying to find her son through portals. So she was opening up all these portals and allowing all these entities to come in, because out of her desperation, she wanted her son back. She wanted to make sure he was okay. But her son was like, he died in such a cold, murderous way that, like I was talking about earlier, he kept accumulating the same murderous feelings from other entities and other energies as he was between worlds and not going to the light. And so when Archangel Michael found him, he was on his knees, and Archangel Michael, bless his heart, was able to find his mother, who was searching through portals, and find the son and rejoin them back. And it was beautiful because Archangel Michael held him down with one hand and held up his sword like a Hollywood movie. He held up his sword and says, the light recognizes this being as being human. You have a chance right now to say that I want to come back to the light. If you don't, we'll release you back to the darkness. And the young man grabbed onto his arm, Archangel's, and he goes, no, I want nothing more but to come back to the light. And he says, from this day forth, he said his name, he is now welcome back into the energy of of creativity, of creation. And then from that point, his light went right back to the light. So not every entity comes from a demonic place. A lot of them are human beings who died. And I'm not blaming religion, but in upstate New York, I've done a lot of clearings up there, and a lot of spirits will not go to the light because they have this fear, because they were in Christianity or in Baptist church. They said, if you sin, you're going to go to hell. So a lot of them don't go to the light because they're afraid of going to hell because they know they sin. And so one of the beautiful things about working with entities and even spirits is that as soon as you get them to remember love, the spirit takes them just like that. They go right back to light, just like that. It's that simple. So when you're looking at the origination of these entities, you have to learn how to have a connection with them, that you're not a threat. Even us, if them looking at us in their point of view, we're a threat because we have the light in us. We're alive. They don't have the light. So they have this really dark, negative, like they want to put your light out because of what they feel, because of what they think, because of what they experienced. They're playing it over and over in their mind. So if you can get an entity and get them to speak about what happened to them, a lot of times you can change that. You can change their timeline. You can change them. You can help them go back. And a lot of them don't. A lot of them love it where they are. They love the hatred. They love the paranormal activity that they bring. They love shape shifting into animals that we've never seen before. Scaring people half to death. But that's just it takes someone who has a very open mind and has a lot of, like me, I have a lot of my ancestors, a lot of my Yaqui grandfathers. I have a lot of the medicine people who stand in my wake that give me this support feeling that no matter what I face, I have that support of their love and their energy with me. So I'm not going about it alone. If I never had that, I would never work with entities. No way. Because they can be very intimidating.
I wanted to ask you a question. To your understanding and your belief and the Yaqui nation, which still is active, and how much about the word hell exists to you?
It doesn't. Yeah, we don't have that as a hell. We have maybe you're off the bullseye, or you're off the mark. Maybe you need to go in the corner for a little bit, and take a time out. But we don't have a word for hell that way.
Okay. All right. So, hold on. I keep losing you here in the screen.
I don't know if you had any more questions, Matt, but I missed a few questions back.
I do have questions.
Okay, go ahead. I'll just wait then. We just had questions from the chats.
Give me a moment because I lost the screen here.
Okay.
I got my kitties here.
Can I just?
Hey, I'm on live air.
Can I just ask him a question while you're figuring out what you're doing?
Okay, I'll answer. I'm already psychic. I can hear what you're going to ask me, and I'm going to tell you caramel chocolate and mint chip ice cream. Those are my two favorite. Mint chip and See's candy, the chocolate caramel.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, good to know that. Thanks for visiting.
Well, Christmas is around the corner. I'm just saying,
Yeah. Someone wanted to know about what you know about Mount Shasta in terms of energies. Are there angelics, and do you think that the fires in Northern California have affected it?
Oh, no. Mount Shasta, the word for Mount Shasta is Maraksumne. Maraksumne is the man on the mountain. During the months of May and June, we put people on the hill called Vision Quest or Hamblecha. Hamblecha is a ceremony, a 4-day ceremony that people go on the mountains and they seek a vision. And they go up there without food and water for 4 days. So me and my brother, Mario, we go up there and we take these people. Maybe sometimes we take 6, maybe we take 16 people up on this mountain, and they face Shasta. And right when the sun comes into this reality, it sends a light out, and and there's a light that shines on Mount Shasta, and you could see him. He stands there every single morning, and his hands are open, and you see the light coming from his body. There are some pictures that people catch him, you know, and so like there's the Black Bear gallery in Mount Shasta. They have some pictures of Mudoksamne. It's the man on the mountain is what they're called. Uncle Charlie, Red Hawk Tom, he was the medicine man, the Crook medicine man a long time ago that used to pray on the mountain. We used to have sweat lodges on the mountain. And the Ochuka, or the altar, is what we call the mountain. It's a Mudoksamne is like an altar to the people, and its vibration is like a hub to all the other mountains surrounding Mount Lassen, Mount Diablo, Mount Mount Helens, Mount Rainier, the one on Mount Haleakala. You know, there's all these mountains that have the different energies, the different chakras that relate to our own bodies. The Mount Shasta is like the heart chakra. It makes you look at yourself. There's a lot of people that break down in Mount Shasta, and they can't figure out why they're there. And sometimes they, you know, when I used to pass through there, I didn't even know there was a town there. I used to travel from San Jose, where I used to live, up to Oregon and go to Sundance. And I never knew there was a town in Mount Shasta until I broke down. And I broke down there, and I just went up to the mountain, and I started to feel all these energies. And the fires, you know, I know a lot of people got devastated in those fires, but the fires was like a purification. A lot of the Old Testimony, a lot of the Old Testament stuff has to die. People have to start helping each other more. We have to start supporting each other in life. And if we don't, we start to get more separated from each other, more disasters are going to come to force us to be brother and sister, to help each other, you know? And sometimes it takes a disaster. Sometimes it takes a death for people to come back together, you know? So no, the fires didn't affect Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta, the vibration there is something other than angelic. There are so many ETs on the north side of the mountain. I've gotten pictures of some of their ships going through as they're coming through the north side. We've had a lot of groups that came through. We had Destination Mount Shasta. We had some magazine that came through. We had the Travel Channel come through, and they interviewed us because, you know, the Karuk people and even myself have experienced Bigfoot. And I'm not going to say that lightly, because Bigfoot is a live being. And I had experiences with Bigfoot back in 99, walking up there with the medicine man, the Karuk elder, Red Hawk Tom. And his presence was very known to us. And he left me like footprints and hair and things and he came to me in my dreams and he spoke to me. I never saw him, but I smelled him a lot of times and scared the dickens out of me. The mountain is protected by Makiata. Makiata is the name for Bigfoot. Makiata means stinky relative. Mm-hmm. So when the stinky relative comes around, you know he's there. We put food out for him and the children. Makiata is like one of those beings that knows how to balance the land back to where it needs to be, because Makiata was one of the first beings, like the stone people. You know, the energies, they don't just come from this planet, they come from other planets, and they send their energy vibration there. And they're teachers, you know, they teach that. When you have an experience that you can't explain and everything around you shifts your whole reality and you can't deny that really happened, that does something to you. And I've had a lot of those experiences in my life to where there's just no way that was man-made. You know, I thought am I being punked? You know, and no, it was something that really, really happened. And so Mudoksamne, the mountain, it's like the center hub of all that. There are Lemurian people there. I'm not sure. I haven't felt the Lemurians there in quite a while. One of the ways that you can feel Lemurians in a specific area is the vibration of the land. the veils become very, very thin. And what I mean by that is that when you are coming from the city and you come to a camp spot, you see the number of the camp spot, you see where you put your tent, you see the river, you take your fishing pole and you go fishing. Okay, that's your point A, B, and C. When you are in between Vales and Mount Shasta, you hear things and see things that you wouldn't recognize. I've seen little people. There's these little guys, little black guys with little red eyes that sit in the bushes. You know, when you're out there, you can take a leak. Anyways, and they watch you. They watch you out there. And I've seen a lot of those little people. And when you can come in that veil and you start thinking about the people on the land that came before you, it's like when we go pick medicine, we hear songs. There's like imprints that the old ones left behind when we go pick medicine. So when, like I was talking about earlier about Kishwa, about this medicine that we burn, in this specific area, there's an altar there right on the opposite side of Mount Shasta where we go pick this medicine. And when you go there, it's like you're going through a portal because you're doing something ancient that our ancestors used to do. And Uncle Charlie used to talk, when you walk in other people's footprints, it's like walking backwards into the future. And so there is a portal there. When you stack three rocks on each other and you sing a song and you put the four sacreds, tobacco, cedar, sage, and sweetgrass on this particular altar, and you go up there and there's like, you can't see any of the plants. And then when you get into this veil, all the plants show themselves to you. And then as you're digging at the plants, you can hear the songs of the old people. You can hear the whispers of the grandmother speaking to you. You can hear, just different things happening where you're at Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta is a very powerful yet very, very honorable, respected area. And the people, the Hupa, the Pit River, the Karuk, they all watch over Mount Shasta as Grandpa. Grandpa, if you're traveling and you can't see Grandpa, you need to get back closer. There's also a saying that we don't go past Sand Flats. There's different sections of the mountain that create different parts of yourself to come forward. If you go past Sand Flats, you're in your ego. If you stay within Sand Flats and Bunny Flats, you're in your heart. And you get different insights about why that occurs. So Mount Shasta is a very powerful place if you want to get in touch with your truth.
Go ahead, Max.
I have a problem here with my mouse here. Okay. I wanted to ask you a question. Just a few minutes ago, you said that the Lemurians are nobody's able to contact them. I know the answer to that. Do you know?
No.
Okay, and people have tried to communicate with the Lemurians, and no answer to no one.
That's not all the way true for me. The Lemurians, for me, I met them in another body. They come as the Naya, the dolphins in Hawaii. That's a whole other story, though.
Well, I know that too.
Okay.
Well, it was a story somebody told me. I'm not going to go into the story now. What else did I say to you? Okay, I know where the Lemurians are at. I do have a friend of mine that lives in the Tennessee mountains. He happens to own the top of the mountain where he lives, and it's very secluded. It's very secluded, and he was the first king of Lemuria, and he lives in a very secret location, which I won't reveal, because I'm the only one who knows. There's a lot of us that go there that are not supposed to say where he lives. But anyway, in these mountains, the only thing I can say is Tennessee mountains. Right across directly from the family room. Hold on a second. Come on. Go. Chris. Anyway, he told me about 2 years ago that in the next 2 years from now on, because I went there, we get together every second of every Sunday. And it takes about 2 hours to get there. It's so secluded, you can't even find it. But anyway, so he told me that the Lemurians are all coming to where he's at. There's a few left, not many. You can count with less than 100. That's true. But the Lemurians is in a secret location, which I'm not going to reveal. The only thing I can tell you is in the Tennessee mountains. And they have been building there a new city of Lemuria, because they also contacted me and told me that they are going to build a reality. It's going to be, to the human mind, it will be a virtual reality. Okay, and then later on you'll be pulled into real reality, and that will take a lot of Lemurians that are on the planet Earth, and some others that are connected with them will be able to go there. Mm-hmm. But I cannot disclose the location of it because we are in a live air. I do tell the truth about it. I'm telling you the truth about it, that the Lemurians are not there anymore like people think. Okay, they're in a new location. And I was told to keep it to myself, at least tell part of it that's true. So that's what I'm doing. And thank you. I wanted to ask you, because I don't know, I couldn't hit the button here to talk. Okay, I'm sorry about that. A lot of things that you've been saying, it connect with some of the things I already know. Right? Now, I know I asked you a question, but you told me no. But don't you think that there might be a truth or non-truth that they keep saying in all the religions, that if you're bad, you go to hell? Do you think hell exists?
I believe for myself, and just I can only speak from my experience. I believe that you can create your own hell. I don't believe that there is a tall man with a long tail and a pitchfork standing underneath our earth in that reality, unless that's what you want. You know, we're powerful beings and we can create anything. And I'm pretty sure people can really create that reality if they really truly want that, you know. But for myself, I don't believe there's a hell. No. I believe that we're created for great things, no matter who we are, no matter what we've done. Earth is the learning planet. And everyone that comes here is either relearning what they have forgotten, or they come here to teach those and help those remember the ones that forgot. And so even murderers, rapists, the worst of the worst, they go back and they have to relearn again, you know. And the whole thing about cause and effect for me really brings out that, because there are no victims. For me, it's all been about what you reap is what you've created, you know. And it's about us learning to take responsibility for that, being accountable for what we do in life is to be our truth. And if we make a mistake, well, it's important to apologize right away, to take care of it right away. Don't wait too long. Don't hold on to resentment, you know. I believe that the hell, when I was growing up, it was made to me to make me act right, or the warning from my grandmother, you know, or it's like Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny. You know, it was not something that resonated with me at all. I felt that there was something else. Why would God create beautiful beings on this planet and then take them to a negative place? It just doesn't fathom. I can't fathom that. You know, there's just no way. You know, we came here for special things, you know, and God is we have a very forgiving God, a very beautiful creator, energy of creation, that we have been given this opportunity to change, you know. And so I'm not eating potato chips. I don't know who's saying that, but I like potato chips, but they kind of make me fat. So it's just one of those things, you know. I think it's a belief system that's a lower vibration, and I don't have really anything else to say about it.
Well, I always get blamed for eating on the
No, I think you were rubbing Matthew a little bit on your microphone. And that was it. It was on your chin, I think. Not a big deal. It was just a little.
Well, I wasn't eating potato chip. Okay, I was doing that last week, but not today because I got Russ said, "Turn off your video, Max, so nobody can see what you're doing." But I did. I did turn it off. You know, I want to talk about something. Oh, Nicole, did you have something to say?
No, I just wanted to say that I totally agree with that we create whatever happens to us in the afterlife, whatever we believe in, and we create it. And unfortunately, there are some people that are really, you know, turned up into the religion that they were, you know, they had no choice to follow. There was something I was going to ask you. I'll let. I'm going to ask this, but you can ask it later. I know Max wants to ask something. I wanted to get into what is a medicine path, but I'm going to let Max go ahead and say what he's going to say before you go into that.
Yeah, before I run out of gas here.
Yeah, we got about 11 minutes. 10
Oh,
minutes.
10 minutes, that's all?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my
That's why
God.
I kind of wanted to go into a little something different there.
Well, we can always bring him back, can't we?
Of course. I'd love to have Matthew back.
Okay, let me explain something.
Go ahead.
A lot of what Matthew is saying is all true, okay? And I just got to tell you something a little bit deeper, okay, and what he's saying. Because you know where I come from. All of you know where Max comes from. So I got a lot of experience in this stuff. All right. Now, what you were talking about, the different timelines and the different reality. Yes, you can make your own reality however you want to do it. It's all up to you. But there are layers in between that. There are layers. There are many, many layers in this. Okay? So between the actual reality, okay, is a different type of layer. What I'm trying to explain about layers is that some of that stuff is also programmed, or it can be a reality. Well, the first thing, hold on, man, I'm not getting confused. I'm just trying to put in an easier way to say it because I'm getting in symbols right now. Okay, and I have to make sure. Oh man, I got 10 minutes. Man, I got to talk fast. I got to talk fast and give some of these people a good thing of what's coming. Okay, a lot of people see these types of reality that they're confused about, and they think that it might be, for example, a fantasy because they don't understand the reality they have come into, because that layer is different than what they're seeing or feeling, or what frequency is being projected to them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, here's what you need to do. I'm gonna make it quick. All right. I was told to tell you this, and this information is coming directly from Q on. I know I do talk to him, okay? I can't say some deeper stuff because I'm not allowed to, but what what he has told me Wait a minute, I gotta make sure I don't put my foot in my mouth again. Okay, because they get on my case. All right. I can't talk about it. I'm sorry. I was just told not. I was told to keep quiet. But they're listening to the show. They're telepathy. Okay, these are very powerful aliens, and they listen to what I say. But when I make a boo boo, they actually intervene and tie my lips up in my mouth. I don't talk. They just sent me the signal that way, but there are different layers in between each reality, and some people interpret it in a different way. Some think it's a fantasy, they're seeing thing. It's not true. Folks, it is true. All I just said is the reverse of what I just said. It's all true and it's for real. Okay, but you got to be able to distinguish all this. How much time we got? Russ? Oh, 7 minutes. Oh, that's my lucky number. Lucky 7. Okay, one last thing here. Before you even start talking about anything, before I brought you in, there was a native North American, because you are North American and Yaquis are from Mexico, aren't they?
Arizona, I believe.
Arizona. Okay. Yeah, but they're also Mexican. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I do know another Yaqui just like you. I already told you at the beginning of the show, Little Pony. She was unable to come to the show because she used to talk here all the time with me. She was my sidekick. Anyway, I don't know what I was going to say. I got all twisted around when I start talking about other things. There are so many things popping in my head. It's unbelievable. I talk a lot on Facebook and I give information out. I need to get this across for the second time and third and final. J.F. Kennedy. People have been asking about J.F. Kennedy. J.F. Kennedy is alive.
Junior,
under the Witness Protection Act. That's number 2. And they ask a question. Is JFK Q the one that writes all that information, all that stuff? Yes, he's a Q, one of the Q in the team, but no, he's not putting all that information. It comes from somewhere else. It comes from 150 miles in the future. I mean, 150 years in the future. I said miles, didn't I? No, my voice got, I don't know why I'm so scratchy today. But anyway, yeah, I think you're right. Anyway, I want to apologize for the way I acted at the beginning of the show. I really do. It's my apologies again. I don't know why I smoked that, whatever that thing was. I don't know if it was buffalo shit or whatever it was, but they don't have any buffaloes in Miami. I'm just telling you that I think my old family played a trick on me today. And I'm sorry, I want to apologize to that for acting the way I did, like an ass. And I can say all those words now. I got a little message for you. You're looking at the new owner of Wolf Spirit Radio. How you like them apples? I want JP to come out wherever he's hiding and come on the show and say that. All right, that's what I got to say. How many minutes we got on the air?
About 4 minutes.
See, I got him off balance. He's listening to something else. Okay. I was wondering if we can have you back. Hold on a second.
Maybe in a couple months or So
Nah, it's too much. It's too much.
that's too much.
Too much.
Well, I don't want to overwhelm him. I know he's very busy.
Well, he is busy, but you got time for the. Hold on, let me see. Okay, we're in November. Oh, tomorrow will be. Well, actually, a couple hours. Okay, okay. How about the 14th of November?
That sounds good.
Well, there you go. See, I know how to pick days.
Yep. It's a good day.
I got Martin Rutherford coming next week. So on the 14th, we'll set you up.
Okay. Sounds
And
good.
I'm really happy you were here with us.
Yeah.
You're explaining a lot of. You're explaining things from out of respect from your people.
Yeah.
And people need to know and learn more about your people more. There's not too much being said. I think it's time for people to start respecting and understanding where you come from. And I believe highly in this. Okay. My website is max21d.com. I'm on Facebook. That is Max Steele in there. And please contact me if you want. I do have the Octorium box. They're coming out the line as we go. The Octorium box, Special Forces, FORCES 1953 at gmail.com. Go put it in there for me. Where can you be reached, Matthew?
At www.soulbodyharmonics.org. Also, you can reach me by email at bearmedicinemassage@gmail.com. I also have a Facebook page called Welcome to Soul Body Harmonics, where I post a lot of pictures and things that I've been doing recently, and just information that you can, find out about what we're doing next. So thank you again, Max, Russ, Jennifer, and Vanessa.
Yes. Thank you, Matthew. I also wanted to say a quick thank you to Jennifer. And if we can give your website out as well, too, as this is your last night with us. So if anyone wants to get in contact with you, give us your website.
It's hunawarrior.com. That's HUNA Warrior, WARRIOR.com.
Okay, thank you. I want to, hold on a second, Nicole. Thank you.
Yeah.
I want the replacement of Jennifer is John Soul. He's a scientist. He's going to be on here next week. And when Matthew come back to the show on the what is 17?
14.
14. Jennifer, you can come in. You're welcome to be here.
Thank you.
All right.
All
Thank
right,
you.
we're out of time.
Okay. Have a good night. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week on the
Peace
Max
out.
Show. Peace out. Love you all.